Monster Family! To be honest, I never would have known this movie existed if it weren't for this commercial I saw.
Sky, believe in better.
There's no way I can erase my memory of that now. So to start off with a far from thrilling introduction, Monster Family is a computer animated horror/comedy about the dysfunctional Wishbone family, who don't spend time with each other like they used to in the past, with Emma, played by Emily Watson, trying to rekindle the family back together. This film also features Dracula, played by Jason Isaacs, dealing with his loneliness and longing for Emma's company in the hopes of ridding his fears and to make him feel happy once more. To fulfill his own desires, he calls upon the witch known as Baba Yaga to cast a spell on the Wishbones, who are dressed up for a monster costume party, to turn them into monstrous abominations. And now it's up to the Wishbones to find a way to lift the curse and rid of Dracula's reign once and for all. Okay, one odd thing I have to question about this movie is that while it's playing in cinemas as of this recording, the film is also available on Now TV and Sky Cinema. Already, there is an accessible way to see this movie without going to go half an hour down to the nearest theatre, buy a ticket, grab some popcorn, go to the bathroom, wash your hands, find your seat, relax, and finally watch the movie. Granted, the accessible way was to either accept a free trial or pay for a membership, but which method would you rather pick? I managed to talk to a bunch of children about the movie and how some of them have seen the film already on the Now TV app. Some of them were even eager to see the movie in theaters. One kid I heard said that the movie is pretty great, so I'm not holding my breath. There was also a man whose breath smelled like alcohol and was accompanied by 3 children. I suppose you had to be drunk in order to endure the whole movie. Throughout most of the film, there was a middle-aged man in one of the back rows who looks like he was legitimately laughing at certain scenes that involves farting, burping, and had elements of slapstick. So I struck a conversation with him and he said that he has seen a lot of animated movies in his spare time. In response, I asked, what computer animated movie is your favorite? And he's like, well, it's the one with the birds. And I'm like, what, Free Birds? Valiant? Angry Birds movie! Yeah, that was his favorite. Moving on! My first time seeing Monster Family was with an audience of around 50 people. I was expecting less people to show up given the nature of this movie, and also because of Ready Player One showing around the same time in a different cinema. As I looked at the audience, some of them were having fun watching it, some were entertained, and some just kept silent and expressionless to let the movie soak in. At the end, what did I think of Monster Family? I've seen worse. It's just an average, run-of-the-mill, dull, arduous, and uninteresting movie to go through. With the film being 1 hour and 36 minutes long, it feels even longer. The CGI is average, as it is with most foreign computer-animated movies. There are scenes in the movie where the background is quite active, but most of the time the film is either mostly in daytime, probably to save the budget, or the background detail barely moves at all. The story is predictable and lacks a sense of tension, as nothing really happens to keep the film moving. Especially as something minimal as a simple family turns ugly to be taught a valuable lesson about family, with a moral at the end that the majority can see coming. Really feels like sitcom level writing. The characters are not interesting and can be obnoxious at times. You have your worrying mom named Emma, the dopey dad named Frank, the science geek brother Max, and the girl who's obsessed with looks sister Faye. With Dracula, it's a nice change of pace that he doesn't have to sound like a typical Dracula, but that doesn't mean the character himself is good. He doesn't pose that much of a threat, and I usually forget about him until he comes on screen again. Next we have Baba Yaga, who speaks like Yoda for some reason. Seriously, I don't get why she speaks like Yoda. Is it because Star Wars is a big trend right now? Anyway, when the family gets cursed by Baba Yaga and they go through the whole "I'm a monster" shtick, they don't do much with their powers that they have. For example, Emma is a vampire and therefore can jump very long distances and uses it to chase after the witch. After that, she only uses it like 3 times, and that's it. The same can be applied for the others. Max turns into a tiny werewolf and is completely useless, and Faye only uses her sandstorm to run away like a pussy. I feel as if the writers didn't have much riding on the idea of making the family more powerful than they look. The Incredibles managed to pull this off really well, and it was a fairly entertaining movie. However, saying that is like saying an ice cream dessert is better than Eskimos. The jokes are bad, and I mean really bad. Not once have I laughed at any of the jokes. I might have groaned or saw the jokes coming because of how overdone they are. First off, there are 2 running gags. One running gag is Frank. He farts a lot when he's stressed. And you just hope they don't run that joke to the ground! The other running gag is Baba Yaga teleporting in and out of places where she wasn't supposed to be. What's funny about this one? Is it because she's an old lady? Is it because of the location she gets stuck in? I don't get it. And the film also has free minions like bats, because you've got to have animals doing stupid things to make the kids laugh. You also get your standard burp jokes, standard gross out jokes, and poorly done slapstick. I feel like the only way to fill the movie length is to have the characters either bump into a wall, bump into an object, bump into another person, or trip over themselves in the desperate hope of making the audience laugh, which sadly it did work. Not to mention this brilliant joke shown in the trailer.
I am Pharaoh Imhotep.
You're Johnny Depp?
You get it?! And finally, the dubbing is out of place, again, as it is with most foreign computer animated movies. I don't understand why they don't just reanimate the lip movements to stick with the English dub. It's just lazy if you don't do it, especially when this commercial did the lip syncing so much better than the movie. Nah, just voice your lines and let's see if it actually syncs up to the character's mouth movements. Not to mention that the dubbing at times seems quite emotionless. Even the dubbing makes the emotions of the characters sound forced, while not giving much emotion at all. It's almost like the dubbing feels like a paycheck just waiting in the mail for the actor to pick up later, and it clearly shows. That's the negatives out of the way. What are the good aspects of Monster Family, you may ask? I like the music. That's all I had to say about it. In conclusion, if you're looking for a family-friendly movie that caters just for kids, you're probably better off watching something else that'll eat more of your time. I don't see this movie lasting very long, and considering that it's bombing at the box office, that's probably not a very good way for a movie to go out on. But hey, what do I know? This is just from an Usher's position.